Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. So people just spamming the link around a bit, I'll be right there. Alright, almost done. Hope everyone's doing tonight. Thanks everyone who's shown up already. Okay, can close that. And I will remove the holding screen and reveal the new layout. What do y'all think? Bellboys? Sup, Cyber Scorpio and Dolpho? Just rolling up my sleeves here. Then I imagine I'll crack my classic can of Conk Zero. And we're starting the painting session today with cleaning up the metallics. And then from there on out, it'll be finishing the black, which I don't expect to do tonight, but that's where we'll be getting to. Uh-oh, the bit rate's looking a little iffy. Let's hope that improves. Hello, Jason. As you can see, I made the background all red to try and be more brandy. And just removed some text that was a little redundant, and then also added some new text to display just two little widgets for the highest super chat donation I've gotten. Which, oh look, it's Dolpho. And then the latest one I got, which was Caleb last stream. Oh, looks like the bit rate's better now. So yeah, let me know if anyone has feedback, opinions on the new background, and maybe I'll take them into consideration, maybe I won't. And I also moved one of the shirts I had in the background before to still be in the shot, because, you know, I like to have my War Machine shirt there. Got it at Lock and Load 2016. And yeah, most of you probably saw pictures of this on the social media today, so like it said on there, as the initial edge highlights are done. But first, let's give this can a crack. Had to do that in ways where I wouldn't get any on the Sazabi accidentally. You love brandy, Jason? I don't have any brandy, just this conch. Oh, we gotta make sure the social media posts went through. Okay, that one looks good. And so does the tweet. All right. So there's a few minor areas of the shifter paint, which was Violet Old Copper, that just needed a tiny bit of touch up. Barely anything needed to be done, because most of the areas of that color are so like hidden and subtle that they just needed like a little bit of patchwork. So I believe what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do a round of tidying up the silver. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple other areas where like some of the red showing it needs to be fixed, but most of that will be with black and purple. So we're gonna do 2 rounds of silver. The first one's just gonna be cleaning it up, and then the second one will be like a really light highlight with mixing in some silver. Any questions? Hope everyone's week's been all right. And of course, we're using synthetic brushes for the metallic paints. So we don't want to ruin the nice sable ones. And I don't think I have too many areas that need clean up with the silver. It's mostly the bronze. Maybe a bit here. These vents here. You have questions, but none of them relate to this particular stream. Well, the questions don't have to relate to this particular stream. Unless it's a question for a DM, then you can send me a DM. You super chat the $70. It was like 2 or 3 streams ago. It was a while ago, but you know, no one's done a $70, or no one's broken $70 before, so it's just like a widget I added to the stream that automatically, I can set it to be like highest super chatter per stream, or like during the current stream, but that means the box would be empty right now. And I didn't want it to be empty. And so, you know, you got bragging rights. Someone else wants to break $70 to give me another big fat super chat. Hey, I won't complain. Helps me keep doing this, keep the bills paid, you know. And if anyone's wondering when I'll start being responsible and wearing gloves while handling this, it'll probably be after the black is finished. Because right now, like, the purple, like, I had to sand some textures away. It's like the purple is going to be getting the base coat touched up a lot anyways, so I'm not going to bother with wearing the gloves yet. It's the choice I've made. Sounds like fun, Cyber Scorpion. Can you use enamel paint on a wet palette? Probably not. I don't think so, because from my understanding, wet palettes are meant to work with water-based paints. Like acrylic. Yes, reverse washing. I haven't tried that yet myself, but it seems like a pretty big brain technique in certain moments, or for certain uses. I'm just gonna quickly grab the panel liner. Speaking of enamels, I just need a quick little bit of this just to dab into a spot. This product is very useful just for a quick little. I just need a quick little thing that's a bit more precise than putting Nuln Oil on there. But you know, this is enamel, so I don't want to use too much of it. It might like interact poorly. You check your debit card into the dumpster. Oh no. That sucks. So you don't have you don't have to try and break your own record. It's cool. You've got the bragging rights for the highest super chat right now. You can just live on that throne while it lasts. I almost washed this in the paint water cup out of habit. I think that's all we need, really. There's just a tiny bit I gotta clean up. If I can, I guess I'm just painting over that. Like when I'm done working with the metallics tonight, I have like a fresh pot of water that like won't be contaminated to use with the wet palette ready to go. Okay, I think that's good enough for that area. Now the tubes here, I think they'll just need the dry brush. I don't think they need anything right now. Oh yeah, we need these tubes down here. Could probably use a little though. Oh hey Fiverr. Let me just use up the paint on my brush and I'll catch up with everyone's messages. Move the painting position on the desk slightly, so need to like half get used to it. And hopefully I'm not like putting my head in front of the camera too much. Let me know if there's issues with the camera focusing. It's going well, Fiverr. How are you doing? I'm just working on the edgy boy, you know, as always. You're here for the first burp of the stream, so congrats. Oh yeah, I need to remember to paint. Well, I need to remember to paint this part, but like the way this has been moving a lot, it's likely, or that's just the area I'm gonna have to worry about paint rubbing constantly. Yeah, I don't think those silver areas need any, just the rest of the little hose belt thing. Yeah, I caught my head peeking a couple times already, and that's when I realized I'd have to pay attention. Oh, the movies. Nice. What movie did you see? Yeah, Dolfo, the reason the skirt isn't glued in place is because there's one area of the skirt where I was kind of locking it in place, but accidentally, there's like a bit too much glue that ran into it, and then it started to like damage the parts. So I could get it in, I could try and get it in there now. But it also like, there is, or when I've been posing it, I've like had to adjust the pose a little bit for taking photos depending on where the camera angle is going at. So there is some benefit to having this, the waist wobble being remained articulated as it is. Like if the camera's at a lower angle, you could tilt it down and have it look more into the camera, which will look better in a photo. And like the head can turn a little bit too. So I think having like a little bit of flex to turn these depending on where the, I guess that'd be the hip, I'm not sure. I don't know my bones. But now you got me like just looking at it. Yeah, I mean this one, there's an argument to just have it locked here. It's also just it's kind of a hard joint to get locked in just because of where it rotates. I could try and like go in from the top there. Maybe I'll set some super glue aside to try and think about that again after the stream. Oh, that sounds like a cool movie, Fiverr. The Japanese make some good horror. That's for sure. Let me put some glue on my desk so I don't forget about that later. I've definitely been burned before by like gluing things or like being too vigorous with gluing models in place before, and it's caused like parts of the inner frame to crumble. Mostly with the thin super glue. It's the thin super glue you gotta be careful with that happening. Alright, let's put this aside for a moment and we'll work just on the singular pieces. Hausu, or yeah, Hausu, if it's a horror movie about a house, I'm assuming there's some like, you know, haunted house, or it was like a haunted house movie. Burp too. Yeah, that's the thing, when you're looking at it on the streams, or like the way I look at models, or when you're just looking at any model you're painting, it's like you'll see way more mistakes than anyone else because you're holding it at angles that you would only hold it at if you were like painting it to get at the weird angles. So this stuff under the skirt, it's like you gotta get pretty intimate with the model to be able to see those. Out of context, that sounds creepy. But y'all just saw it on the stream, you know what I'm talking about. Context matters. I think this calls just for a little dab of this on here too. Oh, an evil cat, that's always fun. Evil cats are definitely in the zeitgeist this time of year. Alright, that's all the silver that needs to be done on that piece, I think. Next. Yeah, too much paint can do that sometimes too. It's like, yeah, the similar thing happens with the glue where it just like gets into in between pieces and forces them apart. It breaks them. Yes, Cyber Scorpio, sometimes it's the only way. I'll be getting through this metallic phase pretty quick, I think, because like the purple and black is gonna grab so much of the eyeball attention with this piece. The metallics are just kind of there to complement it. Okay, see you in a bit, Fiverr. I'm honored you used your data on me. I don't know what your mobile data plan is like, but here in Canada, most of the time it's pretty bad, so I understand being data conservative. Oh, clear rods, that sounds cool. Oh my, thank you for the $50 super chat, Otaku Builder. Appreciate you. Oh, and this is a double bonus super chat for me because I can see on my little new stream widget here that it updated the latest super chat, so I know it's working. It took me longer than I thought it would to do this minor upgrades to the stream that I did. But now that I'm doing a stream with it, it feels pretty nice. Yeah, thanks again, Otaku Builder. It's okay, Dolpho, you're still in the highest super chat spot. Alright, this piece here just has a little bit of silver on the pipes. Yeah, and the dry brush highlight I'm gonna do after this is gonna be really brief. Yes, it is quite sick, Dolpho. Did you see his most recent part to it? With some straight LED porn, if I dare to say so. Or just glorious LEDs is the safer work. Hello, Stephanie. I mean, custom paint your Gunpla is, that can mean a lot of different things. So tips for your first time, I would just say, just stick to like a basic recolor. Like you could just recolor some parts. It could be like, if you're painting a Gundam that's, you know, red, white, blue, and yellow, you could be like, I'll repaint the red, blue, and yellow, but I'll leave the white as is. And like, try not to do anything fancy shading or highlighting wise, just focus on getting a smooth coat of color to recolor the kit. Is what I'd say. Don't try to get too ambitious with it if it's your first time. Just do, you know, learn one new technique per project. Take baby steps. Don't get overwhelmed. If you're going like the airbrush route, you start by just using some rattle cans. If you're going the hand paintbrush route, I would suggest start with a smaller model. Maybe practice on some miniatures first. There's usually cheap options to be found that aren't Games Workshop models. I mean, Gunpla is pretty cheap in itself too. Burp 3. Yeah, the otaku builder videos have a good vibe. Mirror on a motorcycle was loose and you had to tighten it. Which one? Okay, we've done these. Okay, I'm just gonna, the pieces that haven't been done, I'm just gonna put them down on the mat here. Although some of these don't even need, these ones would just need a highlight basically, so they're for the second round only. And we do need a bit more in our paint tray here. When I'm done with the metallics, would you all watching prefer that I paint or work on painting the body next and just work on the big like chunk with the torso and legs of the whole stream, or work on all these like separated component parts and like switch between parts more often? What would be a more entertaining stream to watch? And I don't know how many of you played Gundam Evolution on the launch week and are still going or tried it at all. But I mean, I haven't played in a few days, but I kept playing. I ground up to like level 20 so I could get into ranked matches, but I haven't actually played a ranked match yet. I like played enough, get a decent amount of like cosmetics unlocked where I could like buy a couple skins that were enjoyable. Not the ones I wanted though. Say overall the monetization of the game is a little worse than I expected it to be, so I don't have the fancy gold Barbatos skin yet. I've had a lot more luck playing as the Zaku than I have with Barbatos though, but I've had a couple decent games with Barbatos. He definitely has a pretty high skill ceiling, as they say. I don't think that needs anything else. Ah, that's true. It's not out on consoles yet. Well, I hope it goes well for you when it drops. And the more technically difficult stuff? Good question. They're in this case, they're like pretty similar in terms of technical difficulty. Perhaps like painting the big chunky whole unit of the legs and torsos slightly more difficult just because it's a bit more unwieldy to handle, but not by much. Okay, we're on to round 2 of the silver now, which is to mix in some silver. And we're just gonna do a very delicate dry brush. Gonna try at least. Or is that burp 4 already? Yeah, I had a similar, I mean, I'm not 34, I had similar thoughts about my reflexes when it came to like actually playing the ranked. I was like, maybe I should just stick in casual. Like, I don't, those like quick reflexes that you need for like top level esports are so like hard to maintain sometimes, it feels like. Robert Jameson, it's not time for the wet palette yet. We're painting metallics. You'll see the WAP when I'm done tidying up the metallics, don't worry. It's got purple and black on it right now, and that's it. But I'm hoping by the end of the project it'll be quite an epic WAP. Wings and pizza. I'm assuming he means wet-ass palette, Dolfo. Okay. Gotta be a bit more thoughtful with the brush strokes here. But you know, we are doing this before finishing up the blacks, so if a bit spills over, it's totally fine. And this is just to brighten up the metallics a little bit. This brush might be a little too big. That more or less worked though. Yes, just remain patient, Robert. I'll show you the WAP. Just remain patient. And so far there's a few moments this stream that could be clipped out of context. Oh, sorry, the camera was out of focus there. Yeah, James, I've only seen the prologue from The Witch from Mercury, but I really want to get to watching it soon. I've got like, me and Blue Prep, I have like 3 episodes of Edge Runners left, so we gotta finish that. And then I think I need to like grab an email to use to make a Crunchyroll account. I'm not sure what streaming services we have and don't have. I need to check, but I really liked the prologue. It had such great 2D animation. And like, it just looked gorgeous, and you know, it was pretty dark, which is, you know, classic Gundam stuff, and I like dark shows. So I myself am pretty hype for Witch from Mercury, and I like a lot of the mobile suit designs. The like big chunky purple one, obviously. That's the first one I'll probably buy a kit for. The yeah, the gimmick of like the main character's shield, I guess Gundam Aerial, like breaking up into a bunch of different pieces and flying around looks amazing in the 2D animation, and I'm just really happy that at least the prologue had, like, the only 3D animation I could see in the prologue was with the backgrounds and like structures, and it wasn't with actual suits. Yeah, I've had a hard time avoiding spoilers actually, so I really need to get on it. Yeah, it's awesome that there's, you know, like it's just awesome when a new Gundam show comes out, and, you know, this one happens to be pretty good so far, so pretty hype overall. And yeah, Robert, I saw Kukuru's Doan's Island last week actually, and that was also good. There's like the movie theaters in my city where one of them was like, they're doing one screening of the English in the English dub, Burp 5, and one screening with a Japanese dub. So me and Blue Prepo saw the Japanese dub last week, and that was good. The mobile suits were animated in that one like they are in the Origin series, so they're like mostly 3D, which I'm like meh on, but it's still like they still execute the 3D animation well, you know. 3D animation's here to stay, and it can be good. I find the best like 3D mecha animation I've enjoyed is Promar, but that's like kind of hybrid between 3D and 2D. But I did enjoy Kukuru's Doan's Island. It was very old school feeling, you know, with lots of like content that was a little like silly with the children and stuff. And there's like some funny fan service slap moments. And it's kind of, the whole movie kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, okay, they're making a movie that's like a redo of a like janky old episode. Like, not what I expected, but I'll take it. I'm happy I was able to see it in theaters. It's always fun to see an anime movie in theaters in North America, because it doesn't happen that often, at least in my city. Okay, put that there. Yeah, it's always fun getting to experience a show as it's airing. Even though Game of Thrones Season 8 was a horrible dumpster fire, it was super fun to be able to participate with the memes, like when they're super fresh, because, you know, when it's that much of a dumpster fire, the memes are fire. Oh, yeah, your local theater had a similar situation. Yeah, it's like, how many anime fans are in your area for the theater to justify a screening of this, and how many anime fans that would like see a specific Universal Century Gundam movie. It's like a niche within a niche, sort of. Though I suppose some people would see it just because it's an anime movie. Yeah, if I didn't have so much in my backlog right now, I probably would have bought I probably would have pre-ordered more of the Witch from Mercury kits, but right now I just have the one like purple one with the feather plume helmet pre-ordered. Oh, I forgot the back of the arm pistons on the last arm. I'll have to go back to that. Yeah, I've been in that kind of anime screening movie theater experience too, Dolfo. It's always unfortunate. The Gundam on the theater wasn't like that full, because, you know, like I said, it's like the niche within a niche, so I didn't have to deal with any uncomfortable BO on that one. I saw Promar twice in theaters, because there's like two different businesses that did screenings of it, kind of like periods apart from each other in my city. The BO wasn't too bad at either of those, so maybe that's just because Studio Trigger fans are classy that way. I also forgot this middle part, which kind of isn't showing on the other arm, so don't gotta do it there. Bit of gray plastic in there, gotta get too. Again, it's another one of those things that like hardly anyone will ever see or notice. But might as well get it while I'm here. Yeah, and then these parts up here, yeah, I guess I can give them like a little bit, but These parts are like gonna be very unlikely to be seen because of those like big impressive shoulder pads this thing rocks. Yes, the My Hero Academia movie. Is this I can't remember, the Two Heroes, is that the name of the first one? Actually, this is a bit of a flex, I guess, but I saw that one in the theater in like Tokyo, downtown Shibuya. Yes, any kind of tournament that would happen out in Vegas if it's nearby. Yeah, well, this is a Citadel synthetic brush I'm using because I'm using metallics. I got a comment about that on a video today, and I kind of had to answer. It's like, I use round sable brushes, which is a very like broad answer, but it's like I use brushes from a bunch of different brands, so I don't really have a single brand recommendation. Oh, was that burp? I think that's burp 6. But yeah, I'm still working on finding the perfect brush brand. Windsor, I've really enjoyed using my Windsor Newton round sable. I've got a size 2 and a size 1, but the size 2 is kind of like doesn't have a good tip anymore. The size 1 is still holding up well, but I kind of got the size 1 after, so I don't know. I'll have to see how much longer the size 1 lasts, but that's the nature of any brush that you use a lot. It's a tool. If you use it, it's gonna get worn down, and you can do stuff to take good care of it and make it last, but it won't last forever. You know, you don't want to be just babying the brushes too much. If you're gonna use it as a tool, use it. Oh, and thank you for the super chat, Dolfo. Sorry you gotta go, but thanks for coming by, and thanks again for that super chat. I appreciate it, and no need to apologize. You weren't talking too much. Oh, interesting. The widget updated the highest super chat so it tallies. Maybe I'll have to play around with that setting a bit, so it tallied all the super chats Dolfo's given. So now, Dolfo, you're in both of the slots. Well, I appreciate the super chat, but yeah, you humble me with your donations. I appreciate it. So if someone wants to try and usurp him off one of the locations on the new sidebar, it'd be easier if you're someone who's also donated before, because apparently it calculates your total donations. Although we'll have to see. I'll look at the settings again afterwards and see what other options there might be. Or I could just leave it as is. Yeah, I've heard good things about Monument Hobbies brushes. The sense, like, I feel like I remember Heath from Hobby Time in the Murder Basement saying something about those brushes, or like they have a really good like pack of brushes that you can get that just has a good range of useful sizes, and they're like synthetic, so they're reasonably priced. I know some painters don't, like, they only use synthetics. Okay. Now I believe we just have the shoulder pads and the little spine segments. Monument Hobbies doesn't, or they're like, as far as I know, they don't have any deals for shipping to Canada. I guess I'd have to fact check that, but I've never ordered from them. I tend to get my stuff from local stores if I can. Yeah, with this area here, I'm just like giving a bit of paint along the edges, and that's it. Or I guess a bit on the edges inside as well, which will be getting glow effects at the end of the project. Yeah, I have some army painter brushes as well. Army paint, they're just like regular color paints I haven't been a big fan of. I still use some of them. I've been using the black on this project actually. But I've used the army painter washes and tones a lot. They've been really good, and I've really been enjoying the army painter wet palette now that I've like gotten the hang of it, because the sponge is a little different from the P3 one that I was used to using. And army painter, they put out a video, I think it was last week, about how they were like listening to feedback on the paints and changing, like taking steps to like improve their product that like hurt them financially but like helped them put out a better product, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm glad you're having a good time relaxing and watching the stream. Oh, and I meant to say earlier, thanks to anyone here who watched the Gundam Artifact video. That one had some pretty decent reception, so appreciate it. That was a fun project and video to get out. 55 pack of Army Painter paint. I mean, Army Painter paints are fine. You just gotta like shake them a bit more than other paints. I know some people like prefer to work with them. It's also like hard to give paint recommendations sometimes because it depends on the environment you paint in. You know, if you're in a drier climate, then like wetter paint or like runnier paints might work out better for you, and also depends on your style of painting. If you have a really hard time with your Army Painter paint, well, and I don't know exactly when they changed this, but that change that I did see them talk about in the video was that they were like retroactively adding burp 6. They're adding mixing balls to a bunch of their paint bottles like after the fact. So, and I know they sell like a package of mixing balls separately. Sorry, I'm trying to get this like crusty bit of paint off this. Okay. Yeah, they sell, so like if you have a hard time with yours, maybe buy some of their stainless steel mixing balls, or it doesn't have to be their brand, just buy some to like put in the paint pots and that'll help you shake them. Your style is bad. And also, I don't know if you're talking about their like regular line of paints or their new speed paints or what. Yeah, it is a smart part on their experience. The paint water is looking cool and shimmery right now, if anyone's wondering. That's that piece I was trying to get off the bottle. We're almost done, or we need to do the silver on the main body after this, and then we'll be on to the bronze. I hope I've been keeping the camera mostly in focus. Trying out a new angle. And the bronze will take a bit longer than all the other metallic sections. 7, not 6. I'm not sure what you mean there. Yeah, you should give it a shot, Super Crazy Dog. Thanks for watching my Gamma Wolves videos. But you know, you could... I've seen people play Gamma Wolves with unpainted Gunpla too, so nothing wrong with doing that. But you know, painting's pretty cool too, not gonna lie. But I'm a little biased. It's not, I don't have it like planned as an upcoming project anytime soon or anything, but today I was thinking about what the next Gamma Wolves would be. Whether I would start a new crew or not, what I would do for the base, which model I would use. There's a lot of other things I want to do first, though, before I go back to doing another Gamma Wolves one. I'll probably play at least one more game of Gamma Wolves before I, like, make any new ones. But when I say play a game of Gamma Wolves, I just mean, like, play. I don't mean that as in to commit to making another battle report. Maybe the next time I play it'll be for a battle report. Maybe it'll just be for fun. Point is, there's no plan yet. Yeah, and doing this rough dry brush on the metallics here, give it like a kind of burnished metal look, perhaps. I'm not putting too much effort into highlighting the metallic bits because they're not the main focus of the armor. So I only want to spend so much time on it. And that's a bit too much paint. Made a little bit of a mistake there. Burps. Alright, thanks for coming by, Otaku Builder. Always a pleasure to have you. I'll see you again soon. Good luck with that graveyard shift. This purple, Robert, is Vallejo Violet Red model color. Well, like, for getting smooth result, like, it's not the, the amount of pigmentation in it was a little disappointing, but not, like, too bad. But, I mean, I've used a ton of it on this project, and it does look very gorgeous, I agree. Oh, the frame rate, or the bit rate dipped again. I don't know how long that's been going on for. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad, and it'll return back to normal shortly. Feel free to chime in if the stream gets like stuck at 240p and laggy or something. Right, I still need to do these bits. Welcome back, Fiverr. Thank you for returning. Right as I'm painting the Sazabi's ass. Doing the co-streams with Fiverr has helped me get a bit more loose with my tongue and try not to talk all business casual all the time. Although, I don't know, maybe in some people's minds business casual does involve more cursing. I mean, it's not like I didn't swear much in my regular talking before I started hanging out with Fiverr. It's just like, I was more boring in my streams with my amount of cursing, I guess. Sorry, I'm just putting you on the spot like this, Fiverr, right when you get back. You don't have to answer if you don't want. Okay, I think we can move on to the bronze now. Oh good, the bitrate's back to normal. It's like I said in your Discord, it was the spice my video needed. And we're just doing it dirty and just making a shit mix in the cup here with the bronze, and you know, if some silver gets mixed in as I'm painting it on, it's just free highlight. I mean, you happened to, or like I put it in those clips in my artifact video where you were swearing for comedic effect, but I feel like I put much more emphasis on your painting style, so. That is true, you don't swear in your edited videos. Oh no, I haven't gotten any comments about the parts in the video where you swear. I was expecting some, not because of the swearing, but more because like the, I mean, I wasn't sure if anyone was gonna get mad about what you saying that building Gunpla is a better experience than building Warhammer miniatures because it's true. Yes, this is very much like a Mega Zaku, Silas. Well, I want to continue to be able to do guest streams with you, so I gotta be nice. I don't even know how I would have approached that. I would have had to been like Fiverr paints candy themed miniatures, but I'm gonna do it better than them with my Pop-Tart Nightingale, which I totally didn't ask for help with. Oh, thanks. I do have a communications degree, so I got an expensive piece of paper to back that up. I've never considered myself a journalist or anything, though. My communications degree was a lot of like, I wonder if I could write this paper about anime. Yeah, it is quite sick. Looking forward to getting this metallic stuff done though, because I miss the wet palette. And Robert, it was you that was like aching to see the WAP earlier. Me too. Sorry, I saw my head get in the shot there. Let's adjust the posture. And I was like trying to hype up my new stream layout, and when I added to my to-do list to like upgrade my stream layout was when I saw Fiverr's, because I was like, damn, that looks nice. Mine isn't nearly as fancy as their new stream layout though. Oh, I just totally had my head in the shot again, aching for the web. It would only be fair that way, Fiverr. Oh yeah, there's a whole spot under here I didn't get before. When I'm done with this part, maybe I need to adjust the camera a bit so my head isn't getting in the shot so much. Yeah, I did my new one myself, hence why it was a much smaller upgrade. Does it look too red? I was like trying to decide whether it was too much red or not. I can't tell if it's better to be on brand or like have a less busy gray. That would be fancy. No, just get like a really bad Morbius Photoshop or something. Yeah, I need to find a way to upgrade the way I displayed it. Now that I've like added this new thing to mine, the next co-stream I do, I'll have to update that part as well. I think all I'll be doing is just resizing it to fit. I don't think I need to change it much. I don't have, if I could like get the little talking candy goblin on there that's your channel mascot, that'd be cool, I'm sure, but I don't think I have time for that right now, or the know-how yet. There's lots of there's so much you can do with streams that I haven't even had time to look at. When I've been on the fence is like, do I want to just make the stream fancy with lots of gimmicks, or do I just want to like stream more and just get the painting streamed out there onto the internet? That's enough for the main body. Alright, let's just check. Oh yeah, I missed this part of the knee. Oh, I was forgetting something. Oh, I need to do the front of the knees too. There's a bit of bronze there. VTuber. Yeah, VTubers is, I barely know anything about the VTuber world. I just know that it's a lot bigger than I thought it was. I don't know if there are any, like, model painting VTubers out there. There's probably some, at least Japanese ones. Alright, now we're on to the parts, the separated parts. Thanks, Sam Hine. Glad you enjoy the streams. I, try to make it just a chill place to hang while I get work done. I've already used up all my burps though, unfortunately. I think you missed those, or maybe you were here earlier for them. I hit 6 burps tonight. Yeah, pretty impressive, I know. For these parts, I might just, like, the paint in here is getting mixed with the silver a lot already, so this... we might just do one pass of this. Might be all we need. Oh, well, I'm honored that that person you've chosen is Mayfiver. I mean, today I wanted to get more painting done during the day, but it just didn't happen. One of those days. So I'm like, well, at least I have already scheduled and committed to doing this stream, so that will at least guarantee I get the painting done that I need to do. I'm going on like a short little trip in 2 weeks, so if it's possible to finish this Sazabi project before then, that would be ideal, but we'll see. Not a fan of burbs. Oh, well, good thing you missed them then. I understand that not everyone is a fan of me doing guttural belches right into the mic, but it's also part of my brand, But I do make an effort to not just have every video have a burp. Like, last video, no burps. That was mostly because the video before that had 5 burps, which is kind of absurd. Oh, I understand, Fiverr. I mean, if I could have a job that I could paint in that paid better than YouTube does, that'd be living the dream. Although, I don't want to appear ungrateful. I did get 2 super chats in this stream, which I'm very appreciative of. I don't think either of the people who gave the super chats are still here, though. But I shouldn't complain, because this stream in particular was already been more profitable than my last YouTube video. Not that the aims of my YouTube videos are to be profitable, though, because it's not the point. Okay, maybe I will do a second pass of this. It's not that much brighter, what I'm currently doing. Yeah, cloudy top coats are one of my worst enemies. Dust and cloudy top coats. I don't have a ton of experience with chrome, just I guess bright silvers. I've seen some absolutely crazy non-metallic metal chrome paint jobs. The other vice, or the two vices, mini painting and, or plastic models and Moomin merch. How much of a flex would it be if I told you that that I like bought some Moomin merch literally in Finland? I hesitated there because I realized like not all my Moomin stuff is from Finland, because my Finnish relatives sometimes have just sent us stuff like during Christmas time, but I did go to Finland once and was able to buy the Moomin merch in the wild. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that part. Almost done the first pass of bronze. Should probably add some more. I mean, Moomin merch aside, Finland was an interesting place to visit, but you know, it's a pretty, you know, there's not a lot of people that live in Finland. Helsinki's, you know, like a pretty decently exciting city, but I mean, like I had the reason to visiting family to go to Finland. I feel like most people, you kind of need like a reason to go to Finland, especially like anywhere outside of the big city of Helsinki. You live in Finland, Sam Hine? Oh, cool. I hope you weren't offended by what I just said about Finland. I wasn't calling it boring. I'm just like, it's kind of a remote, like it's not one of those really popular tourist destinations that you hear about a lot of people traveling to. Like if people are going to Finland, they're going pretty deliberately for something. For me, that was to see distant relatives that I'd never met before. If anyone remembers Gunpla Chef from the G Squad days, I wonder if, I'm assuming he's probably still living in Finland. Reason, Phil's, yeah, that's a good reason. Metallic Gundam paint. I have one that, but I haven't really like experimented with it much. Cyber Scorpio. I tried to use it on one part and it didn't like quite behave the way I wanted it to, and instead of like figuring out what I was doing wrong, I was kind of in a hurry, so I was just like, well, I guess I'll just paint it with a brush then, like I'm used to. And then that marker was stuck with some other tools, and I haven't gotten back to it yet. So sorry, that's an unsatisfying answer. Alright, see you, Super Crazy Dog. Thanks for coming by. It'd be nice to go back to Finland sometime. Tame Impala? Are you saying I'm Tame Impala? Do I look like the frontman of Tame Impala or something? One of the most memorable burgers I've had in my life was in Finland. I had a reindeer burger. I still remember it fondly. And even though it was over 10 years ago. Yes, I've heard of that marker before. Okay, I remember you making that comment about the Tame Impala of hobby before. Can you explain your meaning a bit more? I think I kind of get what you mean, because I've listened to I haven't listened to their latest music much, but I listened to Inner Speaker and Currents a lot in terms of Tame Impala albums. Thanks for coming by, Hector. Appreciate your existence. You can pass along some pets and scritches for Hector. Now I know not to ask my chat for lobster emojis when lobster shows up because the YouTube bot thinks that's like offensive language to use a lobster emoji. I think I got everything there. I wonder if it's because of Jordan Peterson that thinks the lobster emoji is spicy. That's all I'll say. I don't actually want to start a conversation about Jordan Peterson because that's too risky. It's too polarizing a figure. Here, get distracted by the shimmery paint water. It's looking quite mesmerizing tonight. Although I do have fresh water ready to go for when I switch to the... Did I? Okay, I haven't done this part. Oh no, you missed your chance. Were you able to get the medium-sized Big Ava kit? Or the medium-sized Ava kit, at least? Or maybe they don't have that one. I mean, if they got the Big Ava kit in once, maybe they'll be able to bring it in again just for you. But then you really gotta commit. You know, that's when you know, when you gotta speak to the employee and be like, yes, I would like the next one that arrives, or I would like you to order one for me. Then it's like, that's commitment right there to a project. Although I think it's safe to say you're committed to some kind of Ava project eventually at this point. How many, have you finished watching the Rebuild movies yet? Well, probably not. You were seeing a movie tonight in the theater. They got Zaku's, but no Avas. Some Barbatos looking guys. And they're all pretty cool too, but I guess they're not as cool as Ava's. That piece even needed. Yeah, I guess I could use a little bit. The last one. That's fair. Yeah, once you watch that one, then you'll have to resort to like purely just random YouTube Ava content, or move on to one of the various mangas. I understand your predicament. Imagining what it would be like to be a Gundam pilot. I mean, it really depends what Gundam series you're in, and some of them would be like, oh yeah, this is sick. I'm like protagonist, but then if you're like in Gundam Thunderbolt, you'd be like, everything is awful. So I guess, yeah, that's the question. Is like, how grimdark is the Gundam show you're in, though? Yeah, I've seen that Mr. Hobby marker airbrush system. That seems interesting. Never seen anything like that before. I've never seen it in use, though. So that's all I got to say on that. I don't know whether it's effective or not. So I wish you luck. Alright, I think we're on to the final round of metallics. We're just going to add some silver to this bronze here. What you said there, Fiverr, reminds me of a post I saw on a Discord once of like, it's like someone saying like, I'd never join the army, but if they announced they're doing some sort of mecha program, I'd be like, let me in the robot, I'll enroll. It's like, we've all known for a long time that like mech suits are a very impractical design for like military purposes and would totally be more of a liability than an asset, but it just looks so dang cool and none of us can get over it. Risk of death much higher, but it is far more exciting a job than customer service. That was too much silver. There's a good meme of like, I'm trying to remember exactly how it was worded. Okay, we need a bit more bronze actually. There's like the Gundam show, a guy who is like representing the Gundam shows, and he's like firing a laser at the other person, and the laser is labeled as like the message of the show, which is like war is bad. Or war is like a tragedy for both sides, you know, like typical war movie stuff, but like the laser's flying above their head because the viewer is missing the point because they're like, oh wow, cool robot. I've had a similar feeling like some Gundam shows, you watch the episode and it finishes and it's like got a very dark ending, and then you let the credits roll, and then after the credits there's just a commercial for the model kits. It's like, buy these toys. War is bad though. A contradiction that's always been there with the Gundam. I like the melodramatic war is bad stories though. Yeah, nothing jarring like an epic showdown resulting in the deaths of many soldiers on the battlefield, followed up by like, buy these new high-grade model kits that you just saw in action. Whoops, I spilled a bit of bronze under the purple there. It's fine. The purple will be tidied up later anyways. Sorry if my head was in the shot again there. Yeah, I really like the way they redid that, or like reanimated that angel for the rebuild movies. They just like added a bunch of cool details to it. It's like, yeah, they utilize a lot more 3D animation, but at least they like did stuff with it to make it like give it some interesting gimmicks, you know? And yeah, the like ramen scene after is also touching. I'm sure the ramen, or eating a bowl of ramen after defeating an existential threat to humanity tastes quite satisfying. Yeah, I don't even remember if they go out for ramen afterwards in the rebuild movie. I mostly just remember how they like animated that angel. I mean, by that part in the rebuild movie too, they're like really having to skip things and compress things from the original show. Alright, just add a bit here. A bit here. Oh, we gotta do these parts too. And because all I've really done is the initial base coat and edge on the purple, if a little bit of metallic spills over, it's fine, because I'll be wrapping up that purple not for a while yet. It's a little, I went a little wild there though. I don't need to be that messy. One little section at the top still. Oh, and the backpack too. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to reload the paint before I get to that. Just dry brush this whole area, and then I'll catch up on the chat momentarily. Yeah, you didn't like it because it didn't have the ramen stuff. So you just put the marker in the brush and push the button, eh? Yeah, I mean, the rebuild movies are good, but they'll never be as good as the show. Hello, Geek in Miami. Yes, well, there's the initial prime and like spray of the shifter paint on the underframe that was done with the airbrush, but everything else is hand painted. Sounds like a good hobby weekend is ahead of you, Kalinas, the Necromancer. Ooh, an hour and a half's flown by already. Look at that. Okay, yeah, we just need to do the bronze up here, and then we'll move on to the rest of the other pieces for the second pass of bronze, and that's it for the metallics. No, Andrew, this is just a streaming project. Has been the whole time. I'll recut some of the stream footage into a little reel on Instagram, and that's about it. Yeah, I've been working on this since June, in between the video projects. I'm having just a wee break on video projects to finish this Sazabi. Want to try and get it finished in the next 2 weeks. We'll see. The next video for the channel is already being worked on now, but you know me, I don't like adhere to a pretty strict release schedule or anything, so right now Sazabi's a priority because my full-time job isn't to make YouTube videos. Sazabi's a commission, so I don't want to make the person who commissioned it wait too much longer. But all the process you'll see in painting this is the same as with my Gamma Wolves projects, or in that video I did called How to Hand Paint Gundam and Manage Burnout or something. It's the one where I paint the Vidar Kitbash. The techniques are pretty much the same. Candy? No, it depends what candy you want. Thanks, Geek in Miami. Yeah, thanks for understanding, Andrew. Sometimes you just gotta have projects that don't have that extra added layer of pressure of them. Because as soon as something becomes like being made for a YouTube video, then there's so many other stress factors added to it, and also like would make the project take longer. Like I didn't record the clacks for this, and you know, editing all those ASMR clacks takes a while. As much as I do enjoy it sometimes, I don't always have the time for it. Okay. Yeah, sometimes things just become work in progress forever like that. I think I need to switch back to the smaller brush. A little bit too much paint on the brush there, it felt like. Bought a fresh bottle of matte varnish to use for this project just because I'm paranoid about getting a foggy or cloudy top coat on it. I'm like, I need to buy... that one doesn't need any. It's like, I need to make sure. Or like, I'm not gonna use the rattle can varnish on this. No way. Been burned too many times in the past to risk it on a commission. Yeah, the hobby knife to trim nubs is more effective sometimes, but requires more finesse. Yeah, when it's a hobby like that, you don't want to have to force yourself to use deadlines, Andrew. Alright, thanks for coming by, Cyber Scorpio. Yeah, maybe see you Saturday. Yeah, I've done that before too, Sam Hine. My years of the only models I built was miniatures. I didn't have to pay as much attention to like keeping the surfaces pristine, and my cleanups were a lot messier, so I had to like apply more discipline for that stuff when it came to the Gunpla. We might need to mix just a little bit more of this to finish up. Ah, 2 of the round shoulders, I see. I mean, I always am a fan of having extra parts lying around for modifications and stuff. Yeah, and you can always fix them that way. You're right, Sam Hine. Yeah, I mean, Geek in Miami, if you look at like pretty much any of my paint jobs up close, you can see brush strokes. You just gonna have to learn to be okay with the brush strokes being there. And I've had people tell me that like they kind of like the look of the brush strokes being there, so there's a certain appeal to that. But yeah, if you want like pristine, ultra smooth surfaces, then like hand painting is just like not, maybe isn't the zone for that when it comes to Gunpla stuff. So I have, with my painting at least, definitely just grown to accept the brush strokes and yeah, just accept them as part of the painting style, which is totally fine by me. When you think of like famous paintings, you can see the brush strokes in those. I've heard many painters share similar sentiments when it comes to painting minis. I know some painters, you know, are all about the brush strokes and they're like, yeah, embrace the brush strokes, and some are more like, nah, I need to get the smoothest blends, and you know, everyone has their style. Yeah, Milliput's always useful to have around. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mix just a bit more. No, I don't know if your name is pronounced Tai Tuan. I did not enter that. Or I'm not entering. I don't know when it happens. It's just a commission I've been working on. It's been a bit too much YouTube stuff going on for me this year to like have the mental space to think about entering a competition like that. Well, Geek in Miami, a lot of that does come down to just like doing multiple thin coats. Or maybe like, I don't know, go back to some of my pictures on Instagram and zoom in a bit. Especially like on the goo for the heavy arms I painted. I feel like those ones have a lot of brush strokes. Oh, nice. Bonus mug repair. Yeah, you're from Vietnam. Thanks for tuning in. I want to enter more, you know, contests and stuff like that eventually, but right now it's just not my focus. I mean, I did the Odafest competition with my Buster Gundam. I'd like to do the Odafest competition again next year. That's a pretty small local thing, though. I like the charming local community events like that. You know, when I describe Odafest that way, it seems pretty small, but it's like decently big. Maybe you'd call it a mid-size anime convention. They only just started having Gunpla themed, like a dedicated Gunpla events this year. Maybe I can host a panel there next year about something. I guess it would make sense to do hand painting your Gunpla. I don't know how many people would show up to that. Golden Demon. I don't paint enough Warhammer models. I feel like when most of my painting finesse is like from painting Gundam stuff, so I feel like when it comes to competitions, I'm all about, or like competitions, I feel more comfortable in like the Gunpla world, but mini painting competition, that's like way more intimidating for me. The mini painting muscles I prefer to flex is to just like have like a fully painted like consistent army, because even if like every mini's paint job is very mediocre or basic, if you have like an entire army of it on display, that in itself is impressive. Like events like, let's see, I don't know if I travel all the way to like a Gen Con or an Adepticon. It's like there's so many different things to do. It's like if I'm gonna go there to play like in a tournament with an army I painted, like that's gonna take up a lot of time, and I gotta lug an army, like travel with an entire army. So I really have to decide what I want to do. I don't really have a single brush set I recommend, Geek in Miami. I haven't really settled on one. Games Workshop stuff is like good quality but overpriced, kind of. I would see like what your local hobby stores have, or like art stores. If you're painting with lots of metallics and stuff, synthetics are good. Otherwise, I like using sable round brushes. Like there's like D&D, there's like a D&D themed like brush starter set that I got a long time ago that was decent. It was like Nolzur's brush set or something like that. The Army Painter is a decent one as well. I don't mind the Army Painter brushes. Yeah, getting into airbrushing is always a big initial load of equipment you need to get. It's a big barrier of entry. I feel like that's why my hand painting Gunpla videos have done well, because there's an appetite for that. Because not everyone can get an airbrush going. Nor should you have to airbrush. You just need a bit more patience if you're going to hand paint. Alright, on to the last piece here. If you're just using acrylics, like, you can get away without using a respirator, but I don't recommend it. It's like water-based acrylic paints go into the airbrushes. There isn't as much fume action going on. But, you know, obviously wear a mask if you can, like a good quality mask at the very least, because you don't want, like, paint particles getting in your lungs. You know, I could, like, spend hours more on these metallic parts, but like I said a few times before, it's not the main focus and effort of this project needs to be the black and the purple sections. That's what's going to be grabbing all the eyes, and the green glowing sections at the end. The metallic sections, it would be a waste to spend too much time on it, because a lot of it's just going to go unnoticed. Yeah, wait, to get like a shop compressor to work with, like, for mini painting, Gunpla painting purposes is pretty janky like that. Alright, let's just give these brushes a bit more of a rinse. These tips are starting to curl a bit. That's something that just kind of happens with synthetic brushes way faster. I don't know who was asking way earlier in the stream about seeing the WAP. I need to scroll back, and Robert, I don't know if you're still watching, but I'm about to get the wet palette. So this is the moment you've been waiting for. I need to put these caps back on the brushes though, just bear with me. Yeah, stickers. I don't mind putting on stickers sometimes, but stickers are kind of objectively bad. But you know, sometimes that's all you got to work with. Let's just put those over there for now. Get one last look at the fancy metallic water here. Oh good, Robert, you're still here. Well, I'll go grab it right now. Here it is. I don't think it's gonna be that exciting yet. We haven't really gotten into the intense shading work yet. Hopefully these. Good, nothing spilled over. Oh yeah, it is more exciting than I thought it was. We do have a green and purple and gray, so there you go. I think I'm going to just mostly work on the separate pieces for the rest of the stream and not the body. So I'm just going to give this a quick blow of air and just put it under the dust cover. Yeah, I really like the Army Painter wet palette. It's good. Okay, let me just put this to safety. I'm feeling this stream will be closer to the 2.5 hour mark. Just because I'm gonna be doing another stream on Saturday. And we do have a fresh thing of water here. Yeah, once you do a certain number of stickers, it gets pretty annoying, I understand. Should probably start by rehydrating this wet palette a bit while the water's pure, or pure enough. Yeah, exactly. It'd be a bit of a mess, or it would be a bit of a cringe stream if I had to spend like, or sometimes, you know, if like the paint gets all messy and gets into the sponge, you gotta spend like 5-10 minutes fixing it at the kitchen sink and like rinsing it out. Not that if like the sponge gets stained, it's a big deal or anything. Okay, so I think what we'll do first is we'll just, yeah, no, I think we'll just be doing black. We're just gonna start at black, tidy up the areas that need better base coat, and just work towards finishing the black. Though before I actually put any paint on the palette, I do need to use the bathroom after that can of conch, so I'll be back in like less than a minute. Let me just put up that hold-in screen real quick. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I'm sorry I teased you with the WAP so hard there, Robert. The sounds so bad out of context. Hope to see you next time and you'll get more WAP action, I promise. The metallics are pretty much done now. Yeah, I like the origin kits, they're good. Shouldn't be too hard to fix those. And we'll start off the thinning with a bit of actual thinner, just to be fancy. gamer mouse. It's not that much of a gamer mouse. It only has like 2 little fancy buttons on the side and one in the middle here. Everyone knows real gamers don't use wireless mouses. What about the lag? But thanks, I guess, for complimenting my gamer mouse. It does have the fancy Razer logo, I think it is. I guess that's a gamer brand. Oh, good. I grabbed a sable brush to use ahead of time so I don't have to decide on which one. This brush is only a little haggard. Yeah, we're just kind of working from the... Hey, you can see this is the area I forgot to highlight. So we're just like kind of going back to the bottom base black, reinforcing the areas that need that color. And we're just gonna like work up that edge highlight again, but being more like thoughtful and deliberate with it this round than it was with the initial edge highlight, where that one was more like mapping out where all the edge highlights are gonna go. Whereas now we're like doing the proper work. Probably like work on finishing all these like separated parts, and then I'll do the like all these separated parts, I'll do the entire black and like finish them all, and then I'll move on to the body, which I'll probably be working on that on Saturday's stream, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to completely finish up the blacks and all these separated parts in this stream. I don't think I have it in me. It's late already. My idea was to do like maybe 2.5 hour stream on this Thursday night, and then the Saturday stream, since that's a Saturday night, I'll try to hype myself up beforehand to paint longer. Oh yeah, I should be doing these parts too. I think I mentioned in the last co-stream about like trying to break the 4-hour mark, but I haven't decided whether I actually want to try and do that yet. So no promises. Yeah, I don't think I need to do anything on the inside here, because that's kind of got so much glowing effect on it anyways. Try to replicate the blue and white P-Bandai Act Zaku paint job. Okay, cool. I like the sound of a Zaku with a great axe. But I'm way more into Zaku's than I am RX-78s, so. Hello, Ace Gunpla. Thanks for coming by. Welcome to the new layout. What do y'all think of the new layout now that you've been watching for a while? I know it's not that much different. Hello, FA. Yeah, like these initial lines here I did for the edge highlight, I'm not sure if I like want them there still. Like that one there, I'm not sure if I want it. This one here, yes, but you know, less so. Just saw a little dust there. My arch nemesis. Dust and dusty coats of varnish. I guess that can happen with primer too. So you can kind of see how I'm just going to pure black and like I'm painting over a lot of that work I did before, but it's like starting the process of making this gray edge highlight to be more, have a better gradient to it. And you know, the next once I go over all these parts with black, you know, we'll mix in a bit of the gray and just start working up the true edge highlight to hopefully be nice and crispy. I can see I kind of forgot to do those parts earlier, so I'm gonna have to remember to paint that properly when I get back to this section. I feel like the Army Painter Black is good for this kind of like layering stuff. It's just not good if you're like want to paint on like a solid even coat and like not have to do multiple passes to get a good result. And I can see some parts here like on the tips where the paint's rubbed off, so don't want bare plastic showing. So we're definitely redoing that edge highlight later. Should probably either put on a glove or grab a skewer and alligator clip to hang on to this soon. Probably do that when we're in like the later edge highlights where they start to get more precise. Alright, that one's done. Got one of those worrisome emails today that's like, the following games on your Steam wish list are on sale. I'm like, uh-oh. You know, those gamers Any gamers watching will know why that's bad news. More games to add to the Steam library. Yeah, I saw the teaser trailer for the live action Mario today. Finally got that Chris Pratt Mario voice reveal, and it was as disappointing as I thought it was gonna be. The rest of the trailer was alright though. You know, the Sonic live action movie was okay. Maybe this weird Mario movie will be too. I don't have my hopes up though. I'm like not a massive Super Mario fanboy, I guess. That's not the games I was raised on. I was more of a PlayStation kid. Oh yeah, the Jack Black as Bowser did actually sound pretty good. I had to ask Blue Parappa, like, for a reminder of who was voicing Bowser. Cause, like, his voice was just, like, different enough that I didn't, like, recognize it right away. Although I always just think back to, like, some YouTube video I watched pointed out how, like, the Aladdin was, like, the start of this trend of, like, animated movies just leaning so hard on the celebrity, like, actor and actresses in the voice cast instead of, like, dedicated voice actors. I'm like, yeah, this whole Mario movie is all just, like, they're just really hyping up, like, look at all these celebrities that are voicing in it. None of them are known for their voice acting work, but look at all these famous people. My friends were pointing out Tom's brain hurts that he's like in a weird, like he's kind of doing an Italian accent, but not really. And it's like kind of in this awkward, like in between. Yeah, if he just tries to do an impression of the original Mario, like no one wants to hear that. I get that the original voice of Mario is kind of old though, so maybe he didn't even want to do it in the first place. Good old Disney, am I right? I think I'm gonna leave the arm pieces. I'm gonna hankering to like build up the gradient a bit, so I'm gonna do this piece, this shoulder piece, and then I'm gonna start doing some highlighting for the last little bit of the stream here. We'll go to 2.5 hours at the very least. I'm glad he refused to sell them. It's like when Facebook tried to buy Snapchat. They're just like, lol, no. Good for him. Yeah, I don't know if they're like if they're telling Chris Pratt to hold back on the accent because like he's not Italian. I mean, I don't know what ethnicity he is other than white. I haven't heard anything about Chris Pratt being Italian, so I'm guessing he's not Italian. It's like, is that why he's not doing the full Italian accent? Because he doesn't want to get canceled? Or Disney doesn't want to get canceled over it? Can you imagine that? That would be hilarious to see. But also, I don't know if I want to read that Twitter discourse. Yeah, this paint's getting a bit thin. It's time to reload that palette. Yeah, I mean that has to be why they went with Chris Pratt. It's like he's in those dinosaur movies. He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. That's how it works, right? Why don't they just bring back the guys from the 90s live action Mario movie? Has anyone seen that, Jim? I feel like I'm gonna need to add more black to this mix, but let's see. Let's see what it looks like with a good stirring. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add a bit more black to that. You have and do not wish it. Yeah, I mean, one time was good enough. I thought the Koopas were pretty hilarious, though. Just to be like, wow, I can't believe this got made like this, you know? Yeah, I think that's more the shade of black we're looking for here. Just gotta take some steps to make sure the palette doesn't get too messy though. Yeah, he did cover up the accent well. I mean, maybe we were all just distracted by the other strange choices of that movie to notice. All right. Now we're focusing on doing a cleaner edge highlight. I think this shade I mixed is working pretty well so far. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that other line that I painted over there just as it is. I don't think that line needs to be that crispy. It feels good to be past that metallic stage, I tell ya. I'm all about those colors, like black and gray, you know? Yeah, that's the way I was trying to describe it, but didn't come up with earlier. Kalina's he's going for that deeper voice. It works pretty well. I don't think I've seen live action Street Fighter, but I think I still have the VHS somewhere of the live action Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah, there's barely any good like live action video game movies. Like the Sonic movie from 2019 is decent, or 2020. That was me and Blue Preppa's first Valentine's date, though, so biased. Or I'll look back at that one with the rose-colored glasses. The second one wasn't quite as good. And I wonder how deliberate it was that they released that live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie on Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, this is the edge highlighting where I just get in the zone and stop talking. Yeah, it is a fairly solid movie considering it's the live-action Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s. I guess Mortal Kombat was like pretty big and popular back then. I was always more of a Soul Calibur person myself, but you know, you gotta respect the Mortal Kombat. Just gonna finish up this piece here, then I'll catch up with the old chat. Alright, that's looking nice and clean, I think. Maybe one day I'll watch that live action Street Fighter movie. Yeah, I can't remember if I've seen the sequel to the live action Mortal Kombat movie. Were you able to see the Mortal Kombat movie in theaters? Tom's Brain Hurts? Because if so, that would have been fun. Oh, sorry, camera was having a time there. Yeah, I didn't actually watch the new Mortal Kombat movie. It's almost more fun at some points to just watch YouTube compilations of all the fatalities, you know? That's like the true Mortal Kombat content. Oh, did I get that section on this one? No, I didn't. Yeah, from what I saw in the trailer, it looked like the stuff with Sub-Zero and Scorpion would be pretty entertaining, as it usually is. Where was I? Yeah, by the time when I was painting this piece earlier with just the pure black, there was barely any left on the palette, so I just kind of stopped. Because it's like the least necessary step. I can get away with just going right to this step. Well, at least they got the opening scene, right? Sorry, there goes the camera again. Kind of in more of a mood to just keep working on these shoulder pieces instead of move on to the next part. Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you think of it that way, Tom. Ah, good old over-explaining and over-exposition. It's always a problem. Well, we broke 2.5 hours, but there's still paint on the palette. So finish this water. I will move on to a different piece, though. Yeah, this one there, yeah, there's a spot that I just missed. Yeah, this shade of gray is just slightly darker than the one I was using before. Charisma of a wet paper bag that's like, what, 4 charisma? Yeah, I mean, this step of painting is kind of about like getting the right tone of gray on there, but also a lot about just making the lines more tidy. Pretty important at this stage of the project, because now we're in like, well, we're definitely past the halfway point. Maybe past 2/3. I'll have to compare the streams at the end of the project and see where most of the time was. mean, not the entire project's been done on stream, but a lot of the painting has. And like with all the other projects I've been doing lately, get the black done first. Because you want to be cleaning up the mistakes with black paint earlier on in the project. And you know, like to save the most exciting hues for last. Which in this project is the green and purple. Purple's gonna take a while, obviously, because there's a lot of purple. But I'm thinking it'll be pretty enjoyable to paint it all. And enjoyable to watch, I'm hoping, as well. There's just a little piece of fiber in there I had to wipe off. See, I always preferred Soul Cop, or probably like there's like more characters that spoke to me, you know, like Lizard Man. And I just like the gimmick of every character having a weapon. And it's always fun to play a big sword boy like Siegfried or Nightmare. I'm sure by the time I'm done painting the black on all these separated parts, I'm not gonna want to do the black on the body. Because black just, you know, can get, for me at least, get boring to paint a bit quicker than the other colors. I'll just have to persevere like with every project. We'll see how much painting I get done tomorrow off stream. Maybe I'll get to see a bit of color on the Saturday stream, if you're lucky. Yeah, HD Gundam Aerial. I think Sanosuke put out a video of that this week. It's looking like it looks like she used some airbrush probably and some hand paint, which makes sense when you know, you're trying to hit that algorithm sweet spot when the show's popular and just releasing. Doesn't always mesh well with hand painting an entire kit, which is very time consuming. I think the only Witch from Mercury kit I have pre-ordered is the big chunky pink one, or like purple. It's similar to this purple. Yeah, that new Verka it wasn't surprising at all. That's the one they announced, but not what I was looking for, so I don't think I'm gonna get it, but that'll be a good one to see all the stop motion animators I like to watch play with, because it's got that improved transformation. So I'm sure the stop motion animators out there will have a field day with that kit. I don't know if anyone here likes to watch that kind of content, but I really like Yushikiro's videos. In terms of like pure impressive like animation. I also like Toki Gigi's stuff. It's a bit more like comfy. And like puts out more videos. Yeah, I guess I gotta consider painting this part black too. I'll have to revisit that. Oh, and of course the area where the bronze spilled over. Can't forget that. Yes, there's also that full mechanics aerial. Yeah, man, I'm sure a master grade Gundam aerial there'd be a lot of cool stuff they could do with that, but I almost hope I feel like we need at least one more master grade Iron Blooded Orphans kit before they start making master grades of Gundam aerial, but that's just me. Maybe there'll just never be any master grade Iron Blooded Orphans after Barbatos. Who knows? It'd be cool if they like announced a Perfect Grade Unleashed Zaku to go with the Perfect Grade Unleashed RX-78-2. I'd get pretty excited for that. Yeah, the shield made of bits and funnels. Animating that with stop motion seems like an absolute nightmare, but could yield some pretty stellar results. I'm sure Yushikiro could pull off something great. Tip on this brush is getting a little... The Zorok kit, is that like the grunt one? Yeah, that would be a lot more surprising if they did that for the Verka. Yeah, Mr. Voltorb, I played enough Gundam Evolution to get to level 20, but I haven't done any actual ranked matches yet. Unlocked a few skins here and there. Haven't dumped any real money in it for those overpriced G Evo coins. But it's a pretty fun game. I'm like pretty bad at those kinds of team shooters just because I've played mostly strategy games. But you know, I've had some pretty fun games of Gundam Evolution. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they weren't putting out an accessory to help you like pose the kit with all the shield bits flying around like that. Seems like a missed opportunity otherwise. revisit that piece later. Still got a little bit of paint on the palette I'm gonna use. I'm gonna save that little piece of gray to tidy up something off stream on the base later. The melee Zaku from it. Yeah, that Zaku does look pretty sweet. I haven't earned enough of the blue currency to unlock any new suits yet, but when I do eventually get to unlock one of the paid suits, it'll probably be the Zaku melee type. That looks like a fun one. Hopefully I can unlock it before it gets nerfed, because it seems kind of OP right now. Although all the paid suits do. Gotta concentrate a little harder around these areas here with these little designs. Doing my best to kind of edge highlight them. Maybe it's overkill. Yeah, you can better see on this piece here, like why I went back with that original black to restart the edge highlighting process in a way. Oh yeah, I need to get some black onto that part too. I forgot that I had to fix it earlier today. One thing I can say for certain about next stream is that I'll probably be wearing a glove in at least one hand then. Probably be at that point in the project where I gotta bite the bullet and just start wearing the gloves. Protecting the paint will be worth having a sweaty hand. Okay, it is the grunt unit. I'm painting this Sazabi for a commission. It's not for Gamma Wolves, but it's in the same kind of painting style. Gantz a lot. Alright, I'm going to be wrapping up this stream soon because there's just a bit of paint left that I'm going to use on this piece here. So if you have any last questions, messages, or super chats you want to get in, now's the chance, people. But the Gyan isn't in Gundam Evolution yet. I don't think it is anyways. I'd play it if it was. The Gyan's the one with like the red circle shield, right? It's kind of got that knight look. He's got like bell-bottom jeans, kind of. Barbatos has a very high skill ceiling and can be quite powerful. I am not great with Barbatos, but I haven't played in a couple days, but when I was playing before then, I was trying to quote-unquote get good with Barbatos. Yeah, that's the main reason why I wanted to play him, just because I love the Barbatos. What can I say? Alright people, I think that's all we're gonna do for the stream tonight. Almost at 3 hours, so that's longer than I originally planned, which is always good. Give everyone like a few more seconds in case any messages come in. But my guess is on Saturday I'll still be working on the black, but maybe I'll like finish up the black on Saturday and you'll get to see some purple. We'll see. It's always a little hard to say. And perhaps I'll pick up the high grade again someday. Well, thanks again for coming, everybody, and I will see some of you again on Saturday, I hope. And until then, thanks for coming and have a good night. Goodbye.